Okay, you finished the crab. That crab took you 25 seconds to do. That is probably the entire wolf camp and then some of the raptors. The question would be the question would be whether or not you can do this. Actually, I don't know how you're doing this. Okay, so your top lane dies. Okay, never go back there. Your mid lane dies. Perfect. So, mid lane, you will not want to go back to this pre-6 or before Katarina has. You will not want to go back here before Katarina's gotten 6 and if Ziggs is high health. Because he has an anti-burst summoner spell. And because he already got a kill on Katarina. Katarina's behind in EXP and gold. Top lane, your son's not going to do much damage. He's building fucking armor, right? Like, he's not going to be of much use in a gank. But as we said before, bot lane is a really fucking good gank. So at this point, I think you want to turn your attention here and look at whether or not... Just look at over and over at this lane and see whether or not it's a good gank. So you do Krugs to red to Raptors. Okay. Here you have the choice to go see if the river crab is up, or you can choose to gank mid. This is actually an okay gank mid because Katarina has not gotten very low. Ziggs is kind of pushed up, and you have your invisibility. So let's see how this goes. Well done, well done. Okay, well done. So what do you do now? You take 3 minions and then you leave. This right here is going to fuck your laner over, because what happens is your minion wave has 3 minions more than the enemy minion wave. By the time that Katarina and Ziggs respawn, these 3 minions combined with the rest of this wave will have killed this wave and gone into tower. So this entire wave is denied from your laner. But the more important thing is, these are going to hit the enemy's tower right about as he comes in. So the Ziggs is actually not going to lose as nearly as many of these minions as your Katarina is. Add to the fact that he got a kill and she got an assist. This puts Katarina really, really far behind if you allow the wave to stay in this position. What you should be doing is, you need to stay. You need to just queue through this wave repeatedly. You need to push this in as fast as you can and have this hit the tower and have Ziggs miss as much as possible. Because no matter what, your Katarina is basically going to miss all of this. By pushing this in, you get yourself an extra wave of minions that would have gone to waste. You deny Ziggs some minions, and you allow the lane to start pushing harder back towards your lane, back towards your side of the map, so that Katarina actually has a chance to walk up and then farm with Q or something. Whereas what happens here is the wave is going to probably, after this wave dies in the tower and his wave meets it over here, his wave's going to come around, like probably around the same area, while yours moves up further, and the wave is going to be right around here when the 2 healthy minion waves meet again. And that's an extremely bad position for Katarina. What I'm saying is, it pays to be greedy right here. After you get a kill in a lane, even if it's a 1-for-1, you want to push as hard as possible. You want to get this shit to the tower. You want to deny from the enemy and try as hard as you can to not screw your laner over, which is basically what happened here by you taking only those and leaving it be. If you had left those, however, this lane would have just frozen in the middle, and then it would have been roughly equal between Katarina and Ziggs. But she was still been behind because she did not get the kill while he did. So now... Oh dear. Kakram's top. Fucking 10 out of 10. What do you do now? You should not have pinked this bush. If you want an aggressive pink, you want to pink right here. Right in this bush, because apparently you can't see my pings. Yeah, apparently you can't see pings when I'm doing it. But you see this bush on the other side of this wall from the blue side, from the mid lane turret, you want to put a pink here. And then this pink will spot whenever Hecarim is going through this small area, and whether or not he's coming through this small area towards like river or to mid. And the other thing is, nobody checks the bush. Nobody checks this bush. Fucking nobody comes here and checks if there's a pink here. This pink is going to go unspotted for a very long time, and it's a deep ward. No one expects a deep ward in like fucking gold. What is this? Gold 4? Gold 5? No one expects this ward. I've put so many wards here, even up to like mid-high plat, and nobody notices. This is the deep ward that's really good for this side of the map, but the deep ward for the red buff side of the map is here, right here, the bush behind red buff, between the red buff and their enemy base. It's this thing. This thing lets you see when they're passing from Raptors to Krugs or from Red to Krugs and vice versa, and also lets you see if they're coming here from base. And again, like this one, they have limited vision. They don't give you the optimal vision of the enemy jungle, but what they do is that they stay. They stay extremely long, and that is way more valuable than like a 3-minute ward placed right here, which will probably pop Raptor buff, which is still pretty good. But I would much rather have a deep ward here because nobody's going to find it. Remember, here and here are where you want to go when you place pinks. So let's see what you do. Yes! Okay, good. You're counter jungling. So you saw Hecarim top, and now you're counter jungling his bot side. Whether or not you take both the large and the smalls, or just the smalls, is a matter of personal preference. You let the small one, that's perfectly fine. You're denying him more by doing this, but also denying yourself. I would say in a situation where you are counter jungling him at this side repeatedly, or if you're super ahead, which you're not, but this is hypothetical anyway. If you're super ahead, just repeatedly invading, and he's barely in his jungle, then pause for a second. Then you would be better off just taking every single minion in the camps. Because if you're super ahead and you're constantly invading and you're always in his jungle, and you're leaving small minions up, you have to realize that he's probably not going to get to the camps. Because it's more often than not you, not him, who's going to be taking the jungle camps. So leaving small ones up in that situation specifically would be denying yourself harder than denying him. Okay, so you back, good move. And now you would go probably full clear starting from top side. Top's getting fucked. Yeah, you never want to come back to this. Yeah, you were too late to help this. That's not entirely your fault. You were too low in health and mana from counter jungling to actually do anything. What you could have done was maybe to ping the location of the jungler. Like you saw him on the wolf spirit, right? And then you know he's bot side. You know he's got nothing to do here. So his options are either to back or to go bot, and he chose to go bot. So whenever possible, like this isn't like them getting shit on isn't your fault necessarily, but what you could be doing always is to repeatedly ping the enemy jungler wherever you see him, or like type in the chat Hecarim bot side or some shit, and then your team will see it. You can ping to specific lanes to be careful because Hecarim's right around them, and then that might not have a huge effect, but it'll still help your team sometimes to avoid ganks. So here a huge wave is crashing into bot. Do you go hold it? Yes, okay, you hold this wave. Good choice. It's a fucking massive wave. And you don't need to fight him. Yeah, just holding the wave is enough. Okay, here I want you to notice something that you're doing different from the last game I analyzed. You're level 6 at 6 minutes 50 instead of 9 minutes this time. You are ahead of schedule because you are farming pretty well. You've done your side pretty well. You've countered his jungle, and that's given you an EXP lead. You are ahead of your experience at this point. Let's see what you do with it. I would be looking. Let's see, Katarina's close to 6. So I would be looking to go Raptors into mid. Because you have to remember, the last time you ganked him, he burned his flash, right? So this would be a repeat gank when both you and Katarina are level 6. And you see here that he is gone. He has gone top, so he has gone towards this side. So you want to ping your top lane back. I'm not a fan of walking through lane like this. Here, you're not going to get anything. He's too far away. He's going to get blue. Okay, shit. So, Hecarim shows top again. This is a fucking terrible gank for him, but we'll get to that later. So this is Hecarim going top. He's been putting a lot of attention on this thing and bottom. And he's getting pretty strong off of it.
Killing spree.
Oh, what happened? Okay, so back this up for a second. What happens here? You're trying extremely hard to force this gank. Like, you have to remember that Katarina's super fucking low here. She will die really fast if Ziggs just like lands a couple more skill shots. Okay, good shit. You managed to get him. And here, you are heading towards. So you saw him top, so you're heading towards his blue. Okay. Okay, would be going bot? No, going bot would be a bad decision. You want a ward up? You want a ward right here. In this very spot. Like behind this. On the opposite side of the wall from the blue buff bush, you want to place a ward. And what that ward does is, it sees basically everything that comes through this massive intersection. It sees when he finishes wolves and is moving this way. It sees if he's coming down from here. It sees when anyone's coming down from this side of bot lane, etc, etc. And what the other advantage of this ward as opposed to a ward right in the middle of the intersection is, if they sweep the blue buff bush, they will not spot that ward. And you have a ward up, so you should be using that. The other thing is, I'm pretty sure you could have taken Gromp too. Let's see how this turns out. You go in ambitiously. What happened? Okay. How much gold do you have? You have like 800 gold. Okay, so you have a Stalker's Blade and Aether Wisp. You are going to try to 2v2 these two. How strong are they? They are level 6 to Karma's 5. Karma has exhausted. You have, you kind of went in, like right after Karma went in, and that was the big problem with this fight. Like, Karma does her trading, and you go in right after, so that they have taken their attention off Karma, and they are putting it all onto you, and that is why you're about to die. So you die. Then, okay, your Jhin plays this really well. Thankfully, so you guys actually go 2 for 2. It puts your Jhin way more ahead than it puts your Jhin ahead relatively from where he was before. So now he's like roughly even with Lucian. Lucian is going for a mid-game spike build, but Jin's gonna hit a spike right as he completes his Ghost Blade, which he is almost able to do. What this does for you though is this puts you relatively behind because you died. And let's see how this turns out. Your top lane is picking help. Fucking ignore him. He's a little bitch. He built armor. He rushed Tab Eyes against Teemo. He's a level down. He's 15 CS down. He's got 3 deaths to the jungler and the enemy Teemo. Ignore this piece of shit. You're not gonna be able to gank enemy because of all the shrooms here. And you start at. You're actually going for this. And I would highly advise against this. How many fucking wars does Wow, he's so fucking bad. Okay, sure. I'm gonna mention that should never have worked out. Because Teemo usually has this area, like, covered in a ring of shrooms. And the fact that he hasn't done that is extremely disappointing. In all situations, in almost all situations, I would say that this, coming up to try to gank this, was pretty bad by you. The fact that it worked does not justify it. Vikram plays this fucking terribly. Okay. Doesn't matter, because he was 3-0. Okay, good shit. So you pathed from base directly up towards top without taking any camps in the process. And that kind of sucks for you, actually. Because instead of doing a more consistent path where you take camps guaranteed and you pass through all parts of the map, you choose to dedicate hard onto top lane specifically, which again was a really bad choice because Teemo was. This is a Teemo. This is a post 6 Teemo. He should have warded. He should have warded and shroomed all this shit up already. And this pathing, it's really bad. This is a pathing that does not put equal emphasis on both farming and ganking. This is a path that puts literally all of your eggs into the ganking basket. And even if this wasn't a Teemo lane, I would still say that's a really bad choice. Like heading straight up here from base. Because in the time it takes for you to walk up here, the position of the lane will change, health bars will change, etc, etc. You want to monitor lanes as you go through the jungle, because when you're going through the jungle, you're going to be at all points much closer to the lanes than you are from over here in the base when you decide to go up and gank top. Like, think of it like this. The lanes, this is the radius, your base is the radius of a circle. And then this is the outer edge of the circle, where it's the approximate position of the lanes, right? And this radius goes woo like this. And then from base, you have to go the entire radius length to reach it. When you're farming, you are over here. Your farming radius is like this. And this puts you in a certain quadrant of the map. This puts you much, much closer to the lanes than you would be in the base. Also, remember what I said about farming in the last game? You've regressed to the... Like, you were doing really good in farm and efficiency in the early game, but you kind of regressed into the gank hard, do not farm this shit type of mentality. So, the correct path would have been, come here. Full clear. See if you can gank along the way, and then repeat. Like, if you're going to take a path where... If you have the choice between a path with some farm in it and a path which has no farm in it, I would say the path with some farm in it is almost always a better choice. Sometimes you won't have a choice. Sometimes your entire jungle is gone because your teammates took it or the enemies took it. And in that case, you only have like one option. But this is not one of those cases. Let's see what you do on respawn. Wow, your cat is actually doing well. You go bot. Do the farming route. Okay, what happened here? Okay. So your team should see Hex for a really long time. Okay, so they engage onto yours. Your team should be able to walk out of this. So Hecarim is here, threatening bot lane. They do not respect that. You were kind of backed off way too far. Where was your ult? Okay, let's look at this shit again. Okay, so first the mistake is you remain completely hidden. You're not willing to show your presence to get Hecarim to back off even a little bit. And then this allows him to just walk in and die without any fear. And then here, this is a fucking amazing ultimate. They're grouped up. You can get this massive shield and AoE damage onto it. You have your ult up, but You actually just do nothing. You should have engaged with ult and Q, and that probably would have killed Lucian by itself. That was probably an easy triple for you because Hecarim has Cinder Hulk and a long term for damage. And that's it. He was already really low. He had burned his E, and well, you didn't know about his ult, but regardless, he had burned his E. They were all really low, and you were like at 80%. You could have easily just 1v3 that shit. At the worst, you would have gone 2 for 1. But now you need to hold the wave. Okay. Okay, Ziggs is wasting time. This is really good for you. And you go back to farming. Like, the choice here was either to go farm, or if you were strong enough, you could have cut off Ziggs right here as he was walking up. And that was a real option for you because he's 2 and 3. He has armor. For some fucking reason, he has armor. And you are relatively strong, actually. You are level 8. You are 1 level behind him. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, you just want to leave. Like, staying at all in... Let's look at this again. So, Ziggs walks up. Katarina goes in when she sees Hecarim. It's really fucking bad. And you position yourself right next to her. Like, the moment you see Leona, you know this is a 3v2. You know this is something there's no fucking way you can do. You need to just get the fuck out. Like, you standing right here, you stood here for a couple seconds longer than you should have, and that cost you a bunch of health, and maybe your life, because you should have already been leaving. You needed to ditch Katarina because she had nothing left. She has no flash up, she E'd onto Ziggs. There's no way she's escaping this, period. And there's no way that if you stay, you're gonna live, period. You should have just left. You should have just left instantly. Yeah, and then you just wouldn't have died here. Let's see. There's nothing you can do here. You are dead.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Here you do the same thing. You're heading straight top, right? I don't know why you're doing this. Teemo is 3 levels above you. He is level 11. You are level 8. This is the same thing you did the last time where you got a lead early, like the kill. You were probably like 30 seconds ahead in terms of level 6 timing. And you were farming pretty well. And you've started to throw it away because you're farming very little. You're ditching these camps altogether and just heading straight to a lane from base. And that's pretty bad on a jungler like Evelynn who has to walk all the way there. And you have to keep in mind, again, the thing I said earlier about Teemo shrooms here. You need to catch up some, because look at this. Fucking Hecarim. Hecarim is 6 and 0. He is level 8. Like, he has no excuse to be this low level. It's fucking shameful. You are actually keeping up with him. But there is no reason you should be this low level either. Like, you could easily be 9. He could also easily... Hecarim could easily be 10 by now. He has 6 kills, but he's not farming efficiently. And neither are you. Like, this... I'm trying to make a point here, where efficiency is going to put yourself extremely far ahead. If you were efficient, you would be 9. You would be ahead in level of the 6-0 Hecarim. I'm probably not going to do any more replay analysis of this game because I've gone over most of the points I wanted to make. Like the small errors, like trying to force, not knowing when to back off, not knowing when is the best time to go in, and then like dropping off your efficiency. Like you need to maintain your efficiency for it to be effective. And you've started to do that like in the early game. In the early game you did much better than you did the last time. But you need to maintain that efficiency throughout all stages of the game. Because if you start becoming inefficient like you do with this thing and with the earlier just going straight top, you are going to put yourself behind. Like against a good jungler, you would be 2 levels behind by now because of the kill difference. If that makes sense. then I'm happy because that's all I'm trying to convey here. I know you win this game, but I honestly don't give a shit how. Jungling, a lot of jungling is how big of a lead can you squeeze out and then extend in like the first 15 to 20 minutes. And we've already picked out the big problems for you. For you, those problems are mainly efficiency forcing, etc., etc. Like knowing when is a good time to go in, whether you're forcing too hard to go in or whether you're just staying back too little and waiting way too long. And that is something that will come through playing more. You need to play more, period. Like, let's see how you're doing in 10 games, and then I'll look at another replay.